You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. It's something on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you on a Let's Play episode of Sylving. So let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. I finally got caught up with the pile of work yesterday, but then I had to work through the night to gather what I needed to help create your background. So I'm afraid I didn't get much sleep. He waves a paw somewhat dramatically in the air to make his point, nearly falling off the chair. I'm a bit worried. He's really not all here. Are you okay? You seem a bit frazzled. Ah! Jesus. I am fantastic! Mikhail slapped his hands on the table, leaning in way too much towards me with an ear-splitting grin. That's good? He's definitely not okay. I can see an eye twitch like he might snap any second. To be asked by a Sylving about my well-being, what an honor. But let's move forward. I have completed your documentation. He reaches into his satchel and withdraws a scroll. He unfurls it onto the table and presents it to me. I'm not exactly sure what to make of it, but there are a few blank spots. What's up with the empty spaces? I wanted to go through it with you and add some of your real information. By blending the document with certain truths, it will make it easier for you to memorize. I see. Sounds like a good idea. So, where should we start? He reaches into his satchel and pulls out a bottle of ink and a quill. He readies himself to write while pulling the document back to his side of the table. When is your birthday? April 17th. Your kind must be using different names for the months. But I do remember reading the word April on this strange, thin book during one of my mini expeditions. It had detailed illustrations and grids with numbers inside. Who knew it was a calendar I found back then? How fascinating. Let's see. Tell me the season you were born in. Spring. Then let's say it's in the month of Burke. And your age? I'm 25. Ah, so you're only a year older than me. His feathery pen flutters around as he fills in the blanks. Do you perhaps have a mate? A mate? Your lover, a woman whom you are to marry or are already wed to. No, I'm still single and I've not been with a guy in a while. I hear myself talking about dating men and reach for my mouth. It slipped out before I could think it through. I'm worried about what their concept of gay people in this world might be like. But Mikhail doesn't even flinch, keeping his nose to the paper as he scribbles away. Maybe he didn't hear me say that. And done. He blows over the fresh ink, picking up the paper and scrutinizing his penmanship before offering it to me. You need to let the ink dry first, but this will serve as your official safe conduct. With this, you should have no trouble if anyone asks about your background or if they need identification. I'll be making a copy to register you within our record as well. I did thorough research and decided that the best choice for you is to be from Shallenhof. It is a beautiful place that borders the sea, with mountains and great vistas. It is in the far northeast, and the village is small. It's distant enough that it won't be suspicious that you don't know our customs fully. I found a lion couple that moved there decades ago. People rarely travel there, and little is known about them, which is perfect for us. Thank you. Better not be any flies in my drink. Okay. Yeah, fruit flies are a real problem around here. Okay. Almost ashamed that there isn't much cultivation here. Okay. Which is why so few people live in Shallenhof. But that'll help you pretend to be their child, after all. He lets out a big yawn as he hands the roll of paper to me. Is there anything you would like to add? So this is my fake ID. Just a piece of paper with some text and a stamp on the right. This documentation states that the identity lion who carries the last name Sandra is verified by the... What is that? Vedskogen family, born in Shallenhof in the far northeast of Nafort. His parents, Anna and Bjorn Sonder. Born in the month of Burke, 1401, height 179 centimeters, appearance white mane and blue eyes, race lion, gender male, occupation traveler. Unwed. Okay. There's not that much written on it. I guess the registration system's pretty simple. I can only trust him that this is enough, but I know nothing about this Shallenhof and what it's like. I should probably be prepared if someone asks about what it's like. Could you tell me more about... Mikhail passed out hard and crashed into the table, snoring loudly. He must have really struggled to stay awake until now. Oh, look at that fox. Can't imagine how much trouble he'd be in if he's caught forging documents. I'm not sure how bad it is to use a family stamp to fake an ID, but it's got to be as serious as impersonation or forging a signature. Despite the risk, he's still doing it for my sake. With how much he's trying to make up for his mistakes, I should be a little nicer to him from now on. I look at the document again. I need to memorize the basics before I go outside. My name is Aaron Sondre. My parents are now Bjorn and Anna Sondre. I'm a traveler from Schallenhof. I feel bad using someone else's last name, but it's only temporary. I don't plan on doing anything while I'm here, so I hope they don't mind me borrowing it. A small seal has pinned a strip of fabric to the document, and there's some sort of symbol on the wax. It must be Mikkel's family symbol. It's the only thing that makes this scroll look legit. I hear the door open behind me, and when I look up I see Agnarr walk through with a package in hand. I wave at him to get his attention, then point at Mikkel while holding a finger to my lips. The wolf gives me a curious look that notices the state of the unconscious fox. He gives a knowing smirk and shakes his head. He quietly shuts the door and turns back to me, pointing to the stairs. I nod, and we both make our way up to the bedroom. Once inside, Agnarr closes the door gently. I guess he didn't get much sleep again. He was a bit out of it before he kissed the table. It really looked like he needed the sleep. That is not uncommon for him. I've seen him lock himself away in his study with new trinkets he picked up from your world. He would always get carried away trying to figure them out. Even when I would come for a trip to the cave, he would be half awake. Does he do that often? More often than you would think. Trust me. Did the two of you talk about your new background? Yeah, we went through the registration paper he put together. Got it right here. Good, then we're already making progress. May I have a look? Sure, here you go. I hand over the paper to him, and he exchanges it for the limp-looking parcel wrapped in fabric and twine. They had these in stock and were the closest to your measurements. I requested finer material for you, so hopefully they should be comfortable. It may be simple, but it'll help to have less eye-catching clothes for now. And more importantly, clean ones. Thank you. I can't wait to try them on. I'll give you your privacy again. While you're doing that, I'll be reading over your conduct and memorizing it. I look down at the parcel and notice that my claws are already threatening to pierce clean through the garments within. Wait, could you help me with something first? Of course. What can I do for you? Carefully putting the wrapped bundle with my new clothes on the bed, I hold up a hand to show Agnarr the new weapon stuck to my fingers. I need to clip these claws. Oh, that's... His throat rumbles as he clears his throat. I must apologize. Hearing the lion request that sort of thing caught me off guard. Claws are quite valuable to the feline races. They usually take great pride in their appearance and care. Why do you want to cut them? They keep getting stuck to my clothes and tearing holes in them. And I don't want to ruin the new ones. It's easy just to trim them down. Don't Sylvings have claws? We don't exactly have claws. We call them nails. They're mostly flat and not sharp at all. Some people do keep them long, but they never get stuck to clothes like claws do. They crack pretty easily, too, because they're so thin, so most of us prefer to keep them short. That sounds terrifying. I can't imagine someone having claws like that. I can see why you have trouble getting used to your new claws with such an experience. Agnarr steps close, looking a bit curious, and offers a hand. May I see them? I hold a hand out, and he takes a very delicate hold of it. He studies the back of it intently before flipping it over and inspecting the pad. He thumbs at the dull backside of one of my claws. Have you tried retracting them? I didn't know I could. I'm still figuring out this body. Could you try for me? I sort of feel around inside my hand, squeezing the digits of one hand and the others, looking for new things to move. I stretch and flex my fingers, trying to find or trigger any mechanism to deactivate my claws. But I just end up wiggling my fingers around a bit while Agnarr analyzes them. He leans in a bit closer, still inspecting my hand with a firm hold. His hand practically engulfs mine, being twice the size, his dark pads contrasting my pink ones. His grip moves down a couple of my fingers, giving a squeeze at each knuckle before reaching my palm. His pads are firm and rough on the outside, but I can feel warmth from them when he presses in the middle of my hand. Agnarr lets my hand slip from his, breathing out in resignation. If you can't retract them, then I suppose it can't be helped. Let's cut them down a little since it's the best solution, at least until you can get used to them. Some would see doing this as a kind of shame, though. Your claws are in pristine condition. Not if they're in the way. It would be more of a shame if I tore apart my new clothes on the first day. Second now. Water time. Wrong bottle. Water time. There we go. Heh, that is true. Besides, who would I even impress? It's not like I know anyone here besides you and Mikkel. I'll have safe claws over pretty ones any day. You'll meet others soon, but I see your point. Just don't mention your claws to Lord Mikkel. He'll probably bombard you with questions about why you can control them and will test your paws for hours. Agnarr moves to the vanity, searching through the drawers one after the other. There should be a clipper here somewhere. While waiting for him, I feel around the inside of my hand again, seeing if I can retract the claws at all, flexing my fingers open and closed. Open. Closed. Nope, still poking out. Ah, here we go. He pulls out a pair of scissors with inward curved blades and places something small and rectangular on the table. An old friend had scissors like these for their dog, but these are bigger and the handles are a different shape. There's a hole for a finger on one handle, and the other is bent out at the end. It's decorated with a floral pattern on the side, reminiscent of waves within the small space it occupies. You'd better take a seat. He gestures to the stool, and I take my seat on it. How do you usually trim your nails? How do you usually cut them? There's more than one way of doing it. I thought you simply cut halfway and then finish them off. Usually down until it reached the tip of the fingers. We just have to be careful not to cut too far down when we do. What? I cannot do that to you. Cutting them down to the paw is a form of torture. Does it really sound that bad? I know you'd think it unusual, but not to that extent. I guess it's the same as if someone were to cut the nail all the way to the base. I would be squeamish too if I had to cut them that far down. How would you normally do yours, Agnarr? Us wolves like to make them sturdy when we shorten them. We don't use our claws to fight, and we're not built for more delicate work, so we keep them blunt and rounded. This keeps them from getting stuck on things, but still long enough to help with gripping. That sounds good to me. I can't let these dangerous weapons hurt any more innocent clothes, and by my own hands no less. Now let's go with that. Give me the claws of a wolf. He smirks, holding back a chuckle with a weak grunt. He goes to one knee on the floor in front of me, his face now composed as he lifts his hands. Putting my hand in his, he holds my fingers quite securely so they can't move. He places the clippers up close to my index finger before pulling them back and looks to me. Watch carefully to what I'm doing so you can manage it yourself next time. You might need to shorten them while I'm not here. I sit up straighter as he lowers my hand, holding it at an angle that both of us can see. Resting the blade on my index claw, he snips at an angle on either side of it, and cuts straight across, leaving a clean edge. I thought it wouldn't feel any different than normal, but I could feel it in my bones whenever the scissors snap. Not that it hurts, I could simply feel the tension and vibration when it cuts. His movements are careful and controlled, moving from one claw to the next down the line. Agnarr nods approvingly, and until he's done, the only sound in the room is him working. He then turns my hand to the side, taking careful hold of it around the knuckle. Thumb claws are a bit difficult to cut. They're usually sturdier and wider than the others, so be careful when you do this the first few times. I'll try to remember that. My nose twitches as it catches something in the air. I didn't notice it before, but there's this scent coming from him, pine and mint, and there's something earthy that I can't quite place. It reminds me of a cold morning in the forest filled with pine trees. It suits the masculine image of this big wolf. Being this close, though, I get a better look at him while he's focusing intently on the claws. I can see his brows wrinkle subtly before every clip, his yellow eyes being fully focused on the hand. The lighter portions of his fur look so clean and well-kempt, the darker fur serving to outline his facial features. His fur is thicker and longer around his neck, tufts stylishly sticking out here and there. His shoulders are really broad, his arms thick and defined, and his chest is wide and illuminated by the light fur, a distinct patch of darker fur running across it. Look at this here, Aaron. He shows me the hand he's just finished with, claws all trimmed. I was so distracted from examining his appearance that I didn't even notice he had switched to my other hand, let alone finished it. What's most important is that you don't cut them too short. It's not very easy to see, but inside your claw there's something called the quick. You do not want to cut that. It will sting quite painfully if you do, and it starts about here. For comparison, he puts his own claw next to one of mine, and I can see the different hues inside the claw he's pointing at. See the weak color appearing? Don't cut any farther than that, got it? Don't cut past the color part, got it. He puts the scissors on the dresser, then grabs a rectangular object and presents it to me. It looks like a light brown sponge, but dried up. Now, use this for the area we cut, and you're set. What is it? This is a pumice stone. It's a rock that was hewn from a dead volcano, and that can be used to smooth out your claws after a trim. Most people use sandstone, but this one is better for you to use. I'm sure Lord Mikhail won't mind it since you'll be the one using it. Alright, y'all, I'm going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Kate Silverman. Thank you for going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. And thank you to our 2 gold tier patrons, Zeke and Toby. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits and get access to all of our Not Safe for Work contents as little as $5, alrighty? I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye!